Deep beneath the ocean's surface lies a treasure of critical minerals, cobalt, nickel, and rare earth metals. They could power the green energy revolution. But here's the twist. Mining these resources comes with enormous risks, environmental, financial, and even reputational. So, why are investors still pouring millions into deep sea mining? Let's dive in. Deep sea mining is one of the most controversial industries emerging today. On the one hand, it promises to supply the critical minerals we need for electric vehicles and wind turbines and batteries, key components of a low carbon future. On the other hand, it threatens to destroy fragile marine ecosystems and carries significant financial uncertainty. Yet, despite these challenges, investors are betting big on this untested frontier. What's driving them? Is it really worth the gamble? To understand why investors are so interested in deep sea mining, we first need to look at the growing demand for critical minerals. The global push for renewable energy and electric vehicles has created an unprecedented need for metals like cobalt, nickel, and copper. These materials are essential for building batteries, solar panels, and wind turbines. Here's the problem: terrestrial mines are struggling to keep up with demand. Many land based reserves are nearing depletion, and the mining in these areas often comes with its own set of issues: deforestation, social conflicts, and human rights abuses in supply chains. Deep sea mining is being pitched as a solution, a way to access untapped resources without the same level of social or environmental disruption on land. But deep sea mining isn't just about meeting demand, it's also about a massive financial potential. Investors are seeing a high risk, high reward opportunity here. Think of it like early investments in companies like Tesla or SpaceX, ventures that seemed risky at first, but ended up transforming entire industries. Proponents argue that if deep sea mining is done right, it could generate billions of dollars in revenue while supplying the raw materials needed for a green economy. For example, polymetallic nodules scattered around the ocean floor contain high concentrations of valuable metals. Companies like the Metals Company claim these nodules could be harvested more efficiently than extracting minerals from traditional mines. But here's where it gets tricky. The technology to mine at such depths is still largely unproven. Developing it requires enormous upfront costs with no guarantee of success. And if environmental regulations tighten, as they likely will, companies could face delays or even shutdowns before they ever turn a profit. That brings us to the biggest challenges facing deep sea mining, and it's the potential impact on marine ecosystems. And this isn't just an environmental issue, it's a financial one too. Destroying biodiversity, disrupting carbon sinks, or causing species extinction could lead to enormous environmental liabilities for companies and their investors. For example, sediment plumes created by the mining operations can travel hundreds of kilometers, smothering marine life and potentially introducing toxic metals into the food chain. If these impacts lead to stricter regulation or public backlash, investors could find themselves stuck with stranded assets. Projects that become too costly or too controversial to continue. Some industry leaders argue that mining the seabed is less damaging than terrestrial mining. But critics point out that we still don't fully understand how deep sea mining ecosystems function or how long they would take to recover from such disturbances. So, beyond environmental concerns, there's another factor that investors just can't ignore, and that's reputational risk. As consumers demand more sustainable products and companies commit to ESG goals, funding a controversial industry like deep sea mining could backfire. A recent United Nations report warned that financing deep sea mining is inconsistent with principles designed to protect oceans under the Sustainable Blue Economy framework. Companies associated with industry could face boycotts or lose partnerships with other businesses aiming to maintain their green credentials. Even major corporations like BMW and Volvo have distanced themselves from deep sea mining projects due to these concerns. For investors trying to align with sustainability trends, backing this industry could be seen as a step in the wrong direction. So, why do investors keep funding deep sea mining despite all these risks? The answer lies in the narrative being sold by industry leaders. Companies like the Metals Company frame their operations as essential for achieving a net zero future, a way to secure critical minerals without relying on destructive land based practices. This idea appeals to investors looking for opportunities in clean technology, a sector that has already seen massive growth thanks to innovations in renewable energy and electric vehicles. By positioning themselves as part of the solution to climate change, deep sea mining companies hope to attract funding from those who want both financial returns and positive environmental impact. But critics argue this narrative oversimplifies the trade offs involved. While deep sea mining might reduce some pressures on land based ecosystems, it introduces entirely new risks to the ocean health, and those risks may outweigh any potential benefits. So, is it worth it? At its core, investing in deep sea mining is a gamble, a bet that rewards will outweigh the risks. For some investors, the promise of supplying critical minerals for a green economy makes that gamble worth taking. For others, the environmental uncertainties and reputational risks are simply too great. The question isn't just whether we can mine the deep sea, it's whether we should. With so much at stake, from fragile marine ecosystems to our planet's climate, this debate isn't going away anytime soon. So, what do you think? Are investors right to fund this controversial industry? Or should we focus on alternatives like recycling or improving land based mining practices? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd be happy to connect with you on YouTube or LinkedIn. And for more information on the sources for this video or how to connect with me in real life, check out the show notes below. Take care.